Hello and welcome to Flippin and Mashing Phone. We talk about pinball, arcade, video games, movies, game rooms, Game & Watches.
No. No, we don't. Don't fucking listen to him, listeners. I know that's what you do, but don't listen to him.
This is your host, Parnell, and with me is...
Ryan.
What are you hating on my Game & Watches?
Because nobody gives a shit about games that came out like 30 years ago, except for Nintendo.
Good thing they're remaking
Especially when
them.
you can play them for free on your Switch with your Switch Online account.
You can't play Game & Watch games on your Switch.
You can play the first two Zeldas, which is like the whole reason that I would want to get a Game & Watch, except you can play it on your Switch with a higher res screen.
That's
Which
not the
even if the
point.
Joy-Cons suck, they're still better than a Game & Watch that you can get for what, like $60 from GameStop?
$50.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's going to have some cutting edge display technology.
It's a color... The Mario one looks really good. I will talk to you about that later.
Yeah.
I have some updates.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We done talked about it. Moving on.
This is what... Oh, I gotta add some to the show notes, Mr. Angry Pants.
Uh-oh.
What are you drinking this fine evening?
Some water from my fridge. It's pretty delicious.
I'm also drinking a ice cold water from my fridge. I had some beer earlier, and I'm just not feeling it. I had a Surly Black Cherry Supreme, and then I had, funny enough, there's a brewery in Wisconsin, Superior, called Earth Rider, and Friday night we went there for a little outdoor concert, and then they had a release of their new beer they canned called Grapefruit Rattler, and it was very tasty, so we picked up a 6-pack, and I drank the last one tonight.
Oh, well, that's
was
great
tasty.
to hear. Yeah. I got fucking lit the other day out on the raft, or on the river, I should say.
That sounds painful.
Yeah. Well, actually, it was super lit because, hey, Zach, after I say this, I want you to put like a sad trombone noise in here. After we got out onto the lake, I have one of these huge, or not on the lake. After we went out
Are
to
you
the
still
river,
drunk, bro?
yes, obviously. After we went out to the river, I brought my generator with me, and I have God, it's probably 14 feet by like 6 foot. I call it the SS Party Barge, and it's just a huge blow up inflatable that can hold like I think 6 or 8 people on it. And we go floating down the river on it, like as a big tube. And left 2 friends there. One of them was Zach, our lovely host, and unfortunately, or our editor, and unfortunately, somebody didn't move the blow up as it was blowing up away from the generator's exhaust, and burned a hole into the side of it. So ended up having to do a last minute patch. But yeah, man, I got nice and toasty on Sunday. It's the last time I've done drinking recently.
I don't know, man. Getting really wasted just is so much pain. I'm too old for that now.
I didn't get super wasted. I got white girl wasted.
It's because you were drinking White Claws.
Absolutely. Well, okay. It was White Claws. It was seltzers. There was a cider mixed in there somewhere. I was like a garbage disposal of alcohol. Like if it was something I could drink, I drank it.
I usually drink like that because I don't really care, right? I don't know. I'll drink whatever.
Yeah, I'm not
Most of the
picky
time.
enough. I mean, well, I take that back. There's a few things I refuse to drink, but I'm normally not a picky drinker.
But if you're drinking like day drinking, I don't know if it's good to mix.
Oh, we're talking like 11 a.m. day drinking.
Oh,
like,
so much pain.
Yeah. Well, it did suck in the afternoon as I started to sober up, like around like 4 or 5 especially. I was just like dying on the couch. I was just like, "Argh." But it's not too bad.
Lots of grape electrolytes. It's what plants crave.
You know, I did end up drinking some electrolytes. Was it the Pedialyte to try to help with the
Yeah.
hangover? I didn't get hungover, so I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying it's a surefire way, but it helped.
I would also say that you don't have, little kids that, create headaches and such as well.
So,
No, okay.
where are the show notes, Mister? Because I'm not
It
seeing them.
maybe you should look in the folder under Zach,
Don't
then
you
under
fuck?
episode.
Hey,
What
why?
episode are we on?
Why are we doing this?
Episode 72.
Why are we underneath Zach? Oh, I
Cuz
guess it's
he
easier for him.
yeah, my friend, he edits. I'm trying to make it easy for him,
I'm
not
just
you.
seeing episode 69.
Nice.
Oh, there's folders in here.
Holy moly. And this guy is an
Holy
IT.
moly!
Oh boy.
All
Uh,
right. So Parnell, I heard you were getting bullied on the internet the other day. You want to talk to me about that a little bit?
oh my god, this happened like God, when was it? Like over a week ago now?
I don't know. You
But
haven't let go of it, obviously.
no, I'm still really pissed about it. I told you about it the second it happened, and then I wanted it in the show notes because like we got to talk about this, and never remembered to do it.
But he still remembered angry guy on the internet that called Parnell out. He didn't forget.
Oof, this person. They would be what you would call like a cake eater, like hypocrite, whatever. So someone on Face page posted a question about, hey, I'm looking at this home version of Transformers. What are people's thoughts? What should I look out for when I go look at it? I'm pretty sure I'm going to buy it. And of course, most of the people just shit all over it. But most of those people haven't actually played any of them.
I mean, I don't know. I'll let you continue, but I want to put some feedback in here from me after you're done.
Okay, well, I've played them. I've played all of them, and I almost bought one. I can't remember if the local distributor had the Transformers or the Avengers one. But at the right price, these are fantastic. They are not for pinball collectors.
I think the term would be enthusiasts.
Sure.
Yeah,
Oh, there you go.
collectors, enthusiasts. Yeah.
They are not for the purists. They will just make you angry unless you're a chill collector enthusiast who is open-minded. At any rate, this person posted up. A handful of people, including myself, gave it a decent review, or I don't know if I'd say review, but more like, hey, if this fits your playstyle and your price range, totally go for it. It's the Spike One board. I even think I found a link on Pinside to a group. Um, there's they just released schematics. I'm pretty sure for some of it, but there's still some unknowns as to when certain things break. But people on the forum have been pretty good about documenting and figuring out things.
I mean, if the forum can keep the original Highway Alien pinball machines running, I'm sure that Pinside will be able to keep the Star Wars Home Edition pins working because it still was it Spike or Spike 2.
This is
So,
a Transformers. This was Spike One.
oh, I'm talking about. Oh, I thought he was looking at a Star Wars.
No, it was Transformers.
Hmm. Okay, well, I haven't played the Transformers. I do have input on the Star Wars one.
I will be interested to hear your thoughts on the Star Wars one because you did own one, although you did not have the Pro.
You know, I
You
had a
had the
premium.
But if you
Star
played a
Wars.
Pro,
Yeah,
okay.
obviously
Okay.
at league nights and tournaments
Oh,
and
sure.
stuff.
Okay.
But then I've also gotten to play Star Wars, the pin, the home pin,
Yeah, I played it at CES. Where'd you play it?
at one of the awesome distributors in the area, the Pinball Place down in New Ulm.
Oh, cool. I didn't know he had it. I suppose he's like a big Stern distributor, so he should.
Yeah, I mean he had one. I don't know if he
Oh,
still has that one or
which
what
well, it should be
happened.
on the show floor as like his low end model to get people
Get him in the door.
in. Yeah.
Yeah, come on, I'll sell you a pinball for cheap.
It's cheap now. looking at the prices today.
Yeah, that's oh my god. Yeah, we'll talk about that too. But
Okay, so
so my input was I played it and it's
hey, We're getting off topic here.
What are we talking about? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We will talk about the Star Wars one
I
after.
want to hear. I want to hear how you got lambasted.
Oh my god. Okay, so we had a handful of decently positive comments because why not everybody in the hobby wants to buy an old game and knows how to fix it. These have their place in the industry just like virtual pins. Uh, then this person came at me, and I don't remember what they exactly said, but there was a thread about how they are piles of shit and they take forever to resell, and it's a horrible reason to purchase. And I came back very non-confrontational, um, and said, these are rarely for sale, and you don't buy games for resale. And why would it matter if you enjoy it? And of course, then they started accusing me of being a distributor and owning one. And my gosh, it just turned into this crap. I probably stopped responding after a couple back and forths, and I was just like, this is ridiculous.
You filthy fucking casual. How
No.
could you ever? How could you ever, with your collection of nothing but home pins back at your basement,
I
how could you recommend that to someone else that's asking decent goddamn questions? How could you do
I
that to them?
I got my home pin, Captain Fantastic. What else? I got those. What's that goofy Star Explorer?
I mean, I have like a third of a Captain Fantastic home pin
Dude, I
because
had
I
a
have the whole
Zizzle.
playfield. Remember? Well, I still do.
Is that the one hanging up?
Yeah,
Mm.
you're
Sounds
the
like someone
Zizzle.
just fell out of bed.
Well, not my
Jesus.
problem.
I had a Zizzle for a while. Uh, so I've had a handful of home pins.
Did it give you the Zazzle?
No.
Hmm.
Nope. I mean, I'm glad I paid what I paid for it, and I sold it for more than that, but
Oh, so now you're just a dirty flipper.
I had it
You're a
for like
fucking
a.
dirty flipper, filthy casual fuck.
Mhm. I had it for like a year.
Oh
Um,
wow. Okay.
but their comments pissed me off so much because they were speaking like oh they were speaking like they were the pinball community, and it was 100% fact. And I kept telling them, like, everybody has an opinion, like, you might not like it, that doesn't mean everybody hates it. But nope, I was the wrong person, they aren't wrong. And that's where I was talking about them being a cake eater, whatever that means. It just got me so fired up about how people shit on the home pins, but they've most likely never played them. But I understand the MSRP price being stupid expensive versus what a normal game could be purchased for. However, that's because you are potentially an enthusiast or a hobbyist and you know better. But for very casual non pinball people, these are really awesome. And honestly, they play really well. I have no problem buying one. I think the Transformer one was about 2 grand. And I had told them if they went lower, I would pick it up, but they never got back to me. So um, I think they definitely have a place, and it introduces more people to the hobby. Um, the new home pin, which is the Spider Man and the one you played, the Star Wars, um, that's a full size playfield, if I'm not mistaken, and they made everything else smaller. And then they added a coin door, but it's not a coin door, it's just a door. But it's a lot more serviceable than the original home pin. I mean, it's a great way for them to test, for Stern to test stuff. Like, that's how they release the spike. Um, what else? I don't know. I don't know how much else there is to say, but yeah, I don't fully agree with the price. Obviously, they did their market research, though. They wouldn't have come out for sale if they thought that it was too expensive, because for Stern's model, they have an MSRP, then there's a lower street price, which some distributors will sell at, or maybe they can then discount. Like, if a person was wishy washy, they could say, well, I could give you a little bit of a discount um, to get the sale through. And then if they sit on the floor longer, they could even discount it further. So it's easier to go down in price. You'll never want to go up. Why don't you tell us about your home pin of the Star Wars gameplay?
So the first thing that I noticed almost immediately was the fact that It's light, like significantly. Like I went to go slap save it, and I nearly fucking knocked another pin that was next to it, like full on with the other side of it. So they're a pro is they're hella light. I mean, I'm sure they're not like 50 pounds. I'm not implying that, but comparatively to like a new and box stern, oh yeah, it's definitely on a diet. That's for sure. So moving it's really nice. I can totally see that. And I didn't hate the gameplay or any of the shots. Honestly, I think I liked the layout more than I do a pro.
That is what a lot of people have stated on the forums. I would agree, though. I
And
also
I
like.
don't own one. I'd like to go ahead and say that.
You're
Don't
just
plan on owning
a
one.
dirty owner.
Yeah, I'm just a dirty asshole. But yeah, I mean, if you're in the market to buy you want to buy a new game and you don't have the money to pay for a
$6,000 pro.
$6,200 pro now, new in box. Yeah, I could totally see you wanting to get one of these, especially if you can get one, in the second hand maybe market. Because shit, we've seen them what for like less than three.
Yeah, we've seen them between 25 and 35.
Yeah, and I mean, even if at the higher side at 35 or 38, that's really not a bad deal. I mean, shit, F-14s are going for 3 grand almost now or more. Like, and
Yes.
is don't get me wrong, I fucking love F-14. But if I had to choose between an F-14 and a Star Wars the pin home pin, I'd probably go Star Wars the pin home pin over an F-14, especially if they're almost at the same price.
Hmm. God, you bring up a good point. Yeah, I mean, there's ramps. I guess they both have ramps. There's a little more code depth, I think, to the pin. I mean,
Oh, for sure. The F-14 has, the kickback shot, the lock shot, and, it has 4 flippers, but like it's a pretty open kind of game with some death shots right in front of you. But I mean, overall, I think, if you had to have only one pin in your house, I could totally see Star Wars the pin being your only game if you couldn't afford it. Now, I also want to say that it does really irk me hearing people not talking about how fun or unfun a game is, and they're only talking about the value of it. I really, I guess the part of it ends up coming down to when you hear people talking like that, that they're the investor guys who maybe that's how they've been their whole life, but a lot of it ends up coming off to me personally like there's someone new to the hobby that just saw this as a way to like kind of generate some cash on the extra side by like buying a game, doing a couple months to it, powder coating it, because Jesus fucking Christ, that is $2,000 if you check our local ads, and then trying to flip it for said $2,000 more because powder coating is a big deal apparently. Um, but in like truthfully, honestly, like you should never buy a pinball machine thinking you're going to make money on it down the road. And honestly, more than what 2 years ago, you absolutely could buy a new machine and expect to lose money if it was new. So like it really irks me that there's these new people that just look at these pinball machines like investments. And hey, I mean, in some ways I guess it's okay because I have 6 in my basement, so like YOLO, fuck it, like I'm already in. It's going to hurt buying games in the future, but whatever. But the flip side is like I want more people to be able to enjoy this, and I don't want just the people that are making money off cryptocurrency and I don't know, that are more like stock markety type people just looking at these like they're investments. Like that's not really what they are. So that does kind of irk me a little bit.
no, I was listening to some other podcast and they were talking about they were just chit chatting and they made it sound like they only buy games on finance. Like this person's favorite game was Stranger Things, but the Pinside community said it was crap, so they sold it before it lost money. But it's their favorite game. But then they own a game that they don't like because everybody says it's good and they keep it for a while. It's like, What? I
I
if
mean, there's definitely some people that I can think of that will remain nameless, um, that have pushed games that I don't think deserved to be pushed, only to have the game end up getting really negative like feedback, them get out of the game, to then only after having gotten out saying, oh, the game's actually really good, like I'd like to have one again, but then they don't get one.
is that me with my water world?
No, it's some shill I know, but you know
um,
it's
yeah,
it is what
it's
it is.
uh, if Pinside told me, well, actually they have. They said Medieval
Fuck
Madness.
Pinside.
No, but like they
Pinside's
say,
led me astray so many times. They're like, yeah, this is a top 100 for sure. And then I get it and I'm like, no, this isn't. You've
uh,
lied to me.
they said my Medieval Madness is horse crap because the flippers don't feel the same, and I'm like, I don't know. It feels like pinball to me. It feels like Williams piece of crap flippers that don't go very high, so I can't trap up super easily.
Ugh, I tell you,
At any rate,
some people's kids, man.
yeah, I have. I don't know if I took gameplay footage of Spider-Man when it released at CES, but I did play it. I had tons of fun with it. I think they retail for do you remember? I think it's and they street price it at.
Zach, edit those out because they're definitely they're higher now, and that street price is unobtainium.
Wait,
Zach, make sad trombone noises when you're going over
what?
them.
What are you talking about? Can you not
uh,
buy the pin
no,
anymore?
no, you can, but not for the prices you're quoting.
What are you talking about?
We shouldn't
Oh, we should
quote.
take prices out. Sorry.
Yeah, well, we can do MSRP, but we shouldn't say the dirty words that you said a second ago.
Oh, oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so what were you saying, Parno?
I'm trying to find the MSRP on this baby.
Mm-hmm. Well, you should just look at
I
Star
was
Wars because
right.
that's really going to tell you the
Yeah, I was right.
MSRP.
MSRP is 4,499. So
I mean, even at that price, if you
that's the
don't have the money, the $1,700 to push over to a pro, that's really not a bad deal. If it's your only pin and it's your first pin, it could definitely be a jumping point. But as we've said, don't expect to be able to necessarily sell it and like make back that money.
yeah.
That
You're
needs
not.
to be a purchase that you're like, if you like, you need to buy that, and the assumption you need to have is I'm gonna lose $2,000 on this.
I well, no. That
I
you
think
either
so.
keep it forever or you keep it and you just. It doesn't matter what the value is later. You're just going to enjoy it.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'll agree with that too then.
Um,
I'm just saying, like, expect to lose money, and then if you don't, you know, you're at least not setting yourself up for failure.
and it has a full size back box. I forgot about that. The back box
Yeah, it doesn't have a
size
full size screen
screen.
though.
No, but people are modding them. Like I don't remember if they add shakers, but they added dual speakers and like lit flipper buttons, all sorts of stuff. Man, people are going just like the Zizzle machine where they go full modded out. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've had. I don't know. Is there anything else you want to talk about the Star Wars home pin? Besides, fuck those guys that called you out.
Oh my! They called me out. Those
Because you're a
hypocrites.
distributor,
Yeah, I sling home pin.
obviously.
I only sell home pins. Did you know that? I take
Yeah,
coin doors
I
off of all
did.
my games and just sheet metal that flat so you can only play
Yeah, that was
free
really
play.
weird seeing that. Real talk. But yeah.
Um, no, we can move on.
Okay. I'm glad the bile can return to my stomach. Um, I guess the next thing. So we have an update about JP, and for those listening, we're not talking about Jurassic Park.
This game has caused more pain and suffering in my life in the last 3 days than almost any other game I've ever
Hey,
owned.
But you want okay, well that's not true because roller disco was way fucking worse.
Oh, that game still doesn't work.
Right, exactly. So that obviously was a worse experience because this one works.
Now,
Yeah, I mean, it like 99.99% of the time it works perfectly.
I only found out why it works by happenstance of what I
Well,
did
it's because me and you
earlier.
were talking, yeah, and then you were like, testing stuff, and we were talking, and maybe you were distracted or something, but you ended up not hooking something up. So you're welcome. My amazing troubleshooting skills
Oh god.
allowed you. It was like osmosis through talking on the cell phone.
Yeah, just FaceTiming each other, just looking into each other's eyes and beards.
Yep, that's it.
The horrible part is none of us can 100% remember if we've played a multiplayer game on it
Well,
prior to the
before
issue.
today. Yeah,
Yes.
okay, yes, yes.
But we both recall playing a multiplayer game on it. Like, we think we did. And I had a pinball, like two guys came over and we played pinball. And that's why I was like, I'm pretty sure the multiplayer game works. But we just never all played a game together. I just played a bunch of crap on all my games prior to them showing up. But with Joker Poker, what happened? I was doing like we did the ground updates. I did the chime coils. I repinned a bunch of connectors, and then all of a sudden, player one, it was like stuck on player one. You'd hit start, it would start the game. You hit start again, and it would just like reset player one, and then you hit it again, it just resets player one. It was super messed up. I called Ryan. We talked about it, couldn't figure it out. I posted on the forum. No one replied back to that. And we were about ready to just go buy a new board. You're like, fuck it, it's an MPU. And the other night, I think it was last night, right?
I don't know where you're at in the story. I don't want to cut in and like
Oh,
spoil something.
I'm pretty sure it was last night. I'm in the basement trying to rack my brain on what's going on. And so to test it, I was swapping in different MPUs. And since it was at night, I also unplugged the chime. And then I also had the knocker unplugged. And I had added the Molex connector for the knocker so that I could take the chime unit out completely because the chime was tied into that harness, so you'd have to take both out if you wanted to keep them. Now I have the roller disco stock MPU and a Lissy One, which runs a Raspberry Pi, and you put the ROM from PinMame on it. You do some dip switches to pick a game in the setting, and then that also could be a full MPU. It just takes a little bit of time to boot up the Pi. So last night I unplugged the sound makers. I kept swapping in boards, and unfortunately, both the Roller Disco stock MPU and the Lissy 1 MPU from the Roller Disco both kept locking on the outhole coil, which is what kicks the ball into the shooter lane. Now, this is what they did on Roller Disco. So I'm in a totally new game, same problem. And I've posted that on the forum of a problem, and no one can explain that either. They keep thinking it's the driver board, and I keep telling them this is a whole new driver board. I replaced the transistor, I replaced the diode on the coil, and it still causes it. I use my multimeter and my logic probe, and I've traced back that the MPU keeps calling for the coil to fire. I've repinned the switch harness plug edge connector thing. So, like, at this point, something on the MPU has to be bad. How, though? The stock MPU, I can totally see that being a problem because you have these goofy spider chips, sensitive things that are 30 years old. But the Lissy one, Pi one, it's practically brand new. So unless something in the game corrupted it, I can't explain it. So that boggles my mind. However, that leads me to this morning when I was on the phone with Ryan. I had forgot that they were unplugged the chime unit and the knocker, and I put the stock board back in because I was like, "F this, f all this stuff." And all of a sudden, the game started doing four player, like multiplayer, no problem. And I don't know if you remember it, but I was like, son of a bitch. And I look in the coin door, and sure enough, the chime's not plugged in and the knocker. So I plug the chime in, turn it back on. It works. multiplayer still works. And I think I plugged the knocker in, and then it doesn't. And then I unplugged the knocker, and it works. And so I think I just was like, this is the stupid diode, isn't it? And sure enough, clipped the leg, tested it, the diode tested, failed. So I swapped that in. Then the game started working no problem. And then I've not kept too many System 1s, but also just anybody who's into System 1s, I don't know if this is a real issue. Maybe you should write in and let me know. If the game, what I noticed was when the game booted up and one of the switches seemed really tight from the Titans, and so it was, I think, closed on boot. The game acted like a column of switches did not work, and I was again about to just light this game on fire, and then I calmed down and I went through and looked at. There's all the, I don't know what you call them. They're kind of passive switches that just score from the ball bouncing around, and I want to say like they're probably 10 points. Also, tip: when I would hit the flipper, 10 points would get registered. So kind of made sense. I found one or two that were a little tight, and so I adjusted the switches. Then all the switches worked again. I was like, dang it. So these are really, with the stock boards, it's super finicky. If I would have kept this, the plan would be to get the Pascal flip all in one, and it would tell you on boot like, hey, this switch is stuck closed. And you go, oh, what switch is that? Look in your manual. You can say, oh, switch 23, that's this right slang, and you could just adjust it. It's so nice. And then if a coil locks on like that out hole, it just turns it off. Like shuts the game down, says coil lock number 5. It's super nice. So the game is 100% working. I don't want to touch it anymore. But we did so many nice upgrades to this game. Uh, I don't like touching the artwork or the outside of the cabinet stuff because I'm not good at that kind of refurbishment restore. I leave that for the people who are actually good at that, so I don't wreck it if the next owner wants to do that. But we have sold it.
We have to one of our listeners.
Yes.
Steve, here's your shout out, buddy. Thank you again.
We did let him know all the info on the back end. I sent him tons of pictures, all the stuff we did to it, all the issues that we kind of are leery of. But he's still cool with it. He says it's a good deal. So we're very happy. We kind of had to rush this sale though,
Why is that,
because
Parnell?
um, some dude named Jerry at Multimorphic messaged me the other day. I think it was Friday, and he said, "Hey, your game's gonna be ready in about 2 or less weeks." And I was like, "Oh, I gotta make like $1,000." So I started selling all my trinkets on FacePage, trying to make sure I can meet Jerry's deadline. But that's exciting. Like, his P3 is gonna be shipping. Hopefully, when me and you split this, you can go buy Silver Falls. I will also be buying Silver Falls pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, it's first thing on my list.
Yeah, I am pumped. Uh, Actually, on the reveal stream, which I don't know if we even talked about, my whole family watched it. We all watched it in the living room. It was great. It was fun. My daughter kept asking questions. She was super interested in Sophie, and like, why is that girl leaving? What? Why isn't she talking? So it was super fun. It was super fun to have the whole family there, and my wife was even asking questions like, "This is the P3. Like, this is on. This is violent and all this other stuff." So I was like, "Yeah, it's like totally family friendly." I'm excited. Um, Even if it's not up their alley and they like Barnyard more, this still is super fun. I love having the ability to have more than one game on a playfield. So now the heist can stay in there because that'll be my only game for a while, unless Jerry slips me some sort of next game and not the heist. But I don't feel that happening.
Jerry, you better be slipping him too. I'm just telling you right now. I'll be down in Texas before the end of the year, and I'll come down there and I'll kick your butt.
Oh, dude, I bet you if you're going to Texas Pinball Festival,
Yep.
You should go see if you can get a tour of the factory.
I might.
That'd be fun. Although Texas
Yeah.
is big, man. It's like twice as big as Minnesota, maybe
Oh,
more.
it's really big. It's bigger than twice as big. But yeah, no, super duper excited.
Yeah, so we're gonna I have a handful of foam left from my ACDC ship. So we're gonna quote unquote
Foam it up.
yeah, we'll foam it up. We'll get it shipped. Hopefully this week.
That's the plan. By the time this goes up, it might have already have shipped, honestly.
Oh, good point. And then we'll wait for my P3. You'll get Silver Falls. I have been bugging the Discord for someone to stream Silver Falls again. No one's doing it. There was
Well,
Kevin's initial stream, and then there was Gamma Goat's second stream. That's it.
it's funny you bring that up. I'm going to talk about that in a minute because you didn't give me fucking access rights to edit the document for some reason. But
Are you Anonymous Panda?
I guess. Anyways, so I have some really exciting news, honestly, that I want to talk about now. Once you're done, I don't want to steal wind from your sail.
What's your name? Ryan. I'm going to give you access to this. Don't wreck it.
I'm immediately going to wreck it.
Um, yeah, so P3 shipping. I don't know where to put it. It's going to go into the dry bar spot, but what this means is that I'm slowly getting projects out of my house. So the Kiss pinball machine is done. It's at my friend's house. It's working. I hope. I haven't heard back. The Joker Poker gets to leave. I then have Skill Roll to work on, but I'm getting projects out slowly, so that my plan is I can start developing P3 games and or apps. I'm not saying they're going to happen anytime quick. It might take me a long time, but I'm excited to make anything for it. It'll be fun. So, what do you want to talk about?
I have two pieces of exciting news.
Okay.
One piece of exciting news I think we already might have like touched on, but I bought all the shit to start streaming pinball again.
What does that entail?
Well, I ended up stealing the one mount that clamps onto a mic stand and using it for my Xbox One Connect to work as a full body tracking
Oh my god.
thing in VR.
Yeah.
So that got taken out, but then I also needed another webcam like dedicated to my face.
For
So
what? Oh, for this pinball stream?
for streaming pinball, yeah. So I have um, my webcam that I can now use to capture my ugly mug. I
Wait, so
still
are
have my
webcams back in stock now?
some of them. I didn't buy a nice one. I'm gonna be
Oh, okay.
real. Yeah, it's 1080p, but it's 30 frames per second. So don't be
Okay.
expecting the world here. But I have a legitimate webcam that I'm going to be using for my face, and then I think I'm just going to stream P3 for a while until either I take off or I don't at all, and I just crash and burn because you can see the score displayed on the actual playfield. And I think I can also tap into the display out of the P3 and you can get your own view of the score as well as one of the inputs. Uh, and then I can put the Twitch chat on the back box. So I don't even need something there. I can just read Twitch chat on my back box.
Dude, Gamma Goat had the Twitch chat in between his flippers.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited. I'm gonna start streaming the P3, probably a couple times a week, presumably. But I now have all the cameras and everything that I need, and the camera mounts to hook up to the one shitty mic stand that I have. So we're good to go. Like this is gonna be happening in the next couple days, probably. Once this goes up, I will be streaming.
That's exciting. Because like Gamma Goat streams, but he streams a lot. Like he's a pretty flush basement. I think he has every JJP as well. But it's always fun. Like he streamed his P3 EM game, that was super cool to watch. Me and you both talked about how we like his spinner.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kevin, man, he like rarely streams P3. He has some really good archived videos on YouTube of all the games and a tutorial on the P3 that was newer, but he doesn't do it like weekly or anything. So I'll be pretty excited to watch, be able to watch newer P3 streams. I think Fliptronics or Flippin, they just got a P or they've had a P3 for a little while, and I watched their stream, and that's where I was sending like the barnyard moo ba kind of things, and it was like affecting the game. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'll stream other than the P3, but at least initially, I think I'll just be streaming the P3. So that's exciting news. People can see my ugly face, our listeners. So
It'll
I'll.
be fun because you have a pretty good handle on code,
Mhm.
so it'll be fun to watch and have you kind of talk over what you're doing and why, and what you need to do
Right.
next. Because like for me, I have no idea. I just flip the ball. Like I have no
Well, I
idea what I'm
know.
doing.
Yeah, we know that.
Well, you do. Maybe our listeners don't.
He does. Well, now they do. So that's one piece of exciting news, and then the other piece of exciting news, well, soon to be exciting news, is I kind of want to talk about the next game that's going to come into the basement, man. I mean, you've seen me kind of having a discussion with another one of our close friends about it, but I kind of wanted to do a little bit of a discussion on that.
Do you think? But what's the
I
time
know.
frame on it?
I don't. There's not necessarily a time frame.
I mean, if the game came out that you really wanted, so Evil Dead dropped next week, would you be getting it next week?
Oh well, obviously not, because there's got to be like build time.
Okay, but like, I guess I'm just trying to like think of like how this money is just gonna come magically appear.
Hey, don't ask those
Oh,
questions.
okay.
Shh, 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 shh. I'm just
You
stating.
you have been talking to him over and over about games and just like battling each other.
Yep, yep. We're really good at that. So, listeners, some of the games that I've really been considering uh, are not limited to, but I kind of want a Wizard of Oz, but not a Yellow Brick Road. And I feel dirty saying that because I know how much of a total pain in the ass it is to swap in the Lightboard 2.0 kit. But I wouldn't mind a Wizard of Oz. I think that could be a lot of fun at home. I do not like playing that game on route because all it does is eat your quarter. It's
Yeah.
very hard. Uh, so that could be a fun game. Um, I also talked about potentially getting a Guns N' Roses if I could find one used for not more than fucking MSRP, but like a reasonably priced one. Um, and then obviously, who doesn't want a Pirates? But I don't think that one's going to happen because I don't have that kind of money. But I did kind of want to get your input, Parnell, because you kind of know the games that I like to play, and I want to see maybe you'll have a suggestion for one that I haven't necessarily thought of because I'm not trying to shit talk Stern, but I think we know their next game's presumably Godzilla, and that's a title that I'd really like, but I'm not really interested in getting it. Um, so Mandalorian, I think looks fun. I haven't gotten a chance to play one yet, but it's not my kind of game. Um, so that's why I say like there's not a lot of new games coming out that I'm like super excited about. Uh, but other than Scott Denise's slash Multimorphic's new playfield module, but I definitely wanted to know like what do you think I'd like, Parnell? Let's take a moment to discuss this further.
I don't know if you'd like anything new.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
you know,
It's hard too because if you're talking new stuff, the pricing is just so,
bonkers.
you're talking 8 grand or something nuts.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
Stern Pro is, I mean,
6,200.
we're seeing 58 used, and it's like, you guys are nuts.
Shit, they're going for almost 6,200
Yeah.
right now.
So you're kind of narrowing it down to more used stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
our friend
Mm-hmm.
likes to talk to you about getting into Data East
Yeah, I'm not getting a Data East. I love
or
him.
Old Williams, and it's like, cool. Those are getting expensive now as well.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, Data East. I mean, Chelsea still says that she really regrets us getting rid of Baywatch. She really enjoyed that game.
Seriously,
Yeah, she said she liked it.
man, I just could not get into that at all.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite game, but the
It's
code was
weird.
really shallow, and yeah. So there's not a lot of Data East or Sega games that I want, and that's not me trying to talk shit because there are good Data East games. I've owned The Last Action Hero, which I think is probably the most packed game you can buy for under $4,000. Like, period. Like, no discussion. It is the most packed game.
Yeah, that game's good, and then
Tales
Lethal
from the
Weapon
Crypt.
3,
Oh, well, yeah. Lethal Weapon 3 is obviously like
a
for
really good
super
code.
cheap.
Yeah.
Yep. And then,
Oh, Tails is packed. Tails is
Tales
a
from the
crypt.
Crypt is a ton of fun too, and I've owned that as well.
Oh,
So
you.
I'm not
That's
trying to
right. That's right.
Yeah, I'm not trying to shit on Data East because they did come out with some good games. And I think anyone that's looking for an Adams Family but doesn't have Adams Family money, I totally think Tales from the Crypt is more fun than
Hmm.
Adams Family.
Yeah.
Um,
I think the hard part is I could list a ton of games that you've never owned before. The problem I'm having is your attention span and your code wanting is so high that it makes fun, easy games not last long. So, like, what's the point?
right. And I mean, that's something that, our mutual friend has brought up as well when I've been talking with them is I'm like, hey, I'd really like X game or Y game. And they're like, well, you might not end up liking that one because it really isn't that deep. And I'm like, yeah, I guess, because I am, we've spoken about it many times now. I am totally like a wino snob of like the pinball. Like, I like my games that I have in my basement deep. I really don't want to get to the end of it. Like, I want the challenge. I want it to be a big challenge. And, a lot of the games, I don't know. A lot of them aren't like jumping out at me like they used to.
I would say Star Trek Next Gen or Star Trek the Pro.
See, now I immediately got poo pooed on Star Trek Next Gen because I
I
was
don't.
told that I would totally like wipe the floor with that game quickly.
I don't see it. Hey, my buddy up here has one. Once
Yeah.
I fix it with these boards, we
Hmm.
should go. You can come play it.
Yeah.
It's deep
Yeah.
as hell. He has his games um, on sliders though. I think you do too, where he can slide the game like. So he does those crazy saves.
Yeah.
So he gets pretty far in his games, but
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm worried about that because, like, I think Tales from the Crypt is deeper than Star Trek technically, and I've gotten to Tales from the Crypt's Wizard mode. But
I haven't
with
heard
that,
that it was easy, so I don't know. But I don't know.
well, I mean, watching the Papa tutorial it looked pretty
Oh, okay.
straightforward. So
Well,
that,
that's the hard part because like the Papa tutorial for Lord of the Rings is like go to Valinor. It's like okay, there's more
well,
ways
yeah,
to play the game.
well, sure, but I mean, at the same time, even that video is over an hour long, and they didn't get there. So, like,
So it sounds like you need a Lord of the Rings.
no, I've already owned one of those.
Yeah, you didn't beat it, I guess.
Uh, I got close enough. So I don't know. I'm Stern Star Trek sounds interesting, but I think that I might end up kind of getting bored of it in the same way that I got bored of Spider Man
You totally would because while it's
because it's the same
difficult,
game.
if it's even though it's difficult and it takes a long time to get to the end, it's the same.
Well, it's not
And
challenging. I think partially
it's Steve Ritchie. It should be challenging. It's just
it's not okay. Let me rephrase that.
It's
It's
easy
not an
shots.
ass kicker.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's easy shots that flow well. So now you're just battling speed and how good you are at making shots.
Hmm. So like, Wizard of Oz I think could be fun,
It's just so
but
expensive.
well, yeah. But I just I wish Halloween didn't look like it was. Because I wouldn't mind getting a Halloween, but it's just I don't know, man. It's just not there. And I personally wouldn't mind a Hobbit, but you say you absolutely hate it, like with a burning passion. So
Have you
like
not
that's
played it?
out. I have. No, I liked it.
Oh, well then I don't take my opinion and not buy a game.
No, I'm not, but you know,
I
I
mean,
think I would
hey,
enjoy The Wizard of Oz more.
hey, the pinball community shit on the Hobbit and dropped its price to be
Yeah.
like the cheapest JGP. Then they took it and they lifted it back up. Now it's one of the greatest.
Oh,
So
I know. Well, the
yeah.
other thing about all that is like I'm so salty about my dialed in.
Oh God.
Because those are selling for like $8,000 now plus, and yeah, I did not get that much for mine. So there's that. But yeah, I mean, what are you going to do sometimes? You win some, you lose some. But I do think, though, legitimately, Wizard of Oz could be cool. That's going to be another ass kicker in my basement. And a lot of people are telling me to get a game that isn't that hard. So then I was like, oh, well, maybe The Simpsons. So the same game, just not wide body and one less upper playfield. And I was quickly told that I'd probably get tired of that due to the call outs just being so all over the place everywhere. Um, so I don't know. I'm just kind of in an impasse. I just wanted to talk about it for a minute. Maybe our listeners could write in and give us some good options or feedback at flippin with no G and mashing at gmail.com. Please let me know if you think I'm an idiot or what game you might say that you think I might like as well. Because yeah, I'm looking to get something.
I miss Wizard of Oz's for 6,500.
You can still get them, but they need a light board. And I think I'd rather shove a light bulb in my mouth than do that, like a glass light bulb, because that's a one-way trip. It doesn't come out. Fun tip: you can fit a glass light bulb into your mouth. You can't open your mouth out wide enough to get it out.
Is this like some sort of stupid human trick?
No, no, that's just like you break the bulb trying to get it out.
Did you try this?
Obviously, I mean, you've seen my face. I look like Joker. You want to know how I got these scars?
Hmm.
But
You should get Indiana Jones from Williams just to piss off your
no,
friend.
no, fuck that game. I know everyone wants to herald that as one of the best pinball machines of all time,
Yeah.
and I fucking hate it. I don't like
Mm.
it.
Oh, what about Wheel of Fortune?
I don't know. There's a few games that hold the title for the shortest time in my basement. Playboy, I think, holds spot number one, followed closely by Wheel of Fortune.
I told you the game sucked.
You know what? You absolutely did, and that's why I'm talking to you about this now.
You
See,
could
because
always
like,
get a water world.
no,
You want Medieval Madness.
but no.
Well, then don't
All
have the
right,
poor
so
man's
I'm looking
Medieval.
here. Let's look at the top 20 on pin side. So
Ew.
spot number one, Medieval Madness. I'm shocked. Spot number two, Jurassic Park by Stern. Three is Attack from Mars.
I could
Four is
see Jurassic
Deadpool.
Park. I think if you like hard code, hard
Yeah,
hard game with code.
but honestly, I think I like Avengers shots more than Jurassic Park.
Yeah, maybe. I fucking hate the shots on Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Your
Uh,
turtles is hard enough, I would think.
yeah. So like then there's like what? Monster Bash, Parts of the Caribbean by JJP, Guns N' Roses by JJP, Twilight Zone.
That's the game.
What?
Twilight Zone, baby.
No.
You're
I
ridiculous.
really don't like Twilight Zone. Like, truthfully,
You just haven't
it
played
has
it
a lot
enough.
of cool toys. I'm not trying to shit on it, but it's not my kind of game. We got Iron Maiden, Elvira's House of Horrors, Metallica, Lord of the Rings, Avengers, Indiana Jones, A Pinball Adventure, The Big Lebowski. See, I'd take a Big Lebowski.
I don't know.
Adam's Family, Star Trek, ACDC, Turtles, Rick and Morty. All right, so I have some of these games in my basement. Some of them.
I would almost say Batman 66 or Elvira.
Ooh, nah, I hate both of those.
Oh. What about The Walking Dead?
So that's one that every time we go and play, we like more and more.
Dude, I like it. I want one.
But,
Oh, great.
but
Yeah.
this game has to be a forever game. That's the agreement.
Why? Oh.
Yep. Nope. So this is a game that, like, not figuratively, but literally, I was told would be essentially nailed into my concrete in my basement where my pins are. So thinking big picture, I don't know if I would love a Walking Dead forever.
I mean, I would look at. I love Tron that much.
Yeah, but you've even thought about selling or trading your Trons. So, like,
I I have
let's dial it back a little bit
what
from
what do you call that when you have manic my manic decisions?
oh, you have, I mean, we both do, but I mean, like I said, I'm just kind of talking out loud here, and, like, there's a lot of great games. I'm not trying to shit on all the games that are out there. I've owned some of them. I have not owned all of them. But a lot of them I would want to play on location or a friend's house. I would not want to own.
What? I, okay, Whitewater, fun, not forever. But
Right.
Shadow, fun and hard.
But probably not a forever.
Really? Yeah. Same with Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh,
It's not a
fuck that
forever
game.
game.
Yeah. Well, and Heist does it better, if you ask me, with the Missed Multi-Ball. Got that ball that's sitting there by the crane, hovering over, and you got to knock it off.
Yeah, but there's
It can
not
do more than
vampires.
just. It
They
can
don't-
do more than just left to right.
Can Jerry put vampires in the heist for Halloween? Like, can
You
they
know
all be
what?
vampires? That'd be
We
badass.
we can ask them that. I'm sure they'd implement some kind of, like,
Here, okay, so
joke
like,
code.
if you play video games like Animal Crossing on holidays and seasons changes.
Hmm.
So let's do that for the P3 because it's
So
a
I think that could be a
computer.
coding nightmare.
Oh, I'm not a programmer, so go for it.
But I mean, I'm just talking out loud here. Like, Guns N' Roses could be cool, even though it has quality issues that I'm really,
Ugh, stay away
really,
from that shit.
really not happy with. But, like, Wizard of Oz kind of seems like my go-to,
I
because that could be
wouldn't
like a
say
forever
no.
pin.
Yep, I was gonna say like I wouldn't say no to Wizard of Oz.
I don't think I'd say no to a Guns N' Roses either, but it's just, God, I wish they could get their shit together.
This is getting stupid. Like this playfield stuff is dumb.
It really is, because Guns N' Roses is just, like, totally the ass of the joke right now. Like, it's bad. I mean, and I'm happy that there are those out there that don't have any issues, but oof, man, I don't think an Avengers would stay forever. I think it has, like, it lacks callouts and it lacks music.
Mm-hmm. And like I don't like Deadpool. Like
I hate Deadpool. Fuck, I hate
I
Deadpool with a
had one
passion.
really crazy game on it on route, and I don't care for it.
My friend owned one, and I mean, he loved it, and I'm so happy my buddy loved it for so long before he got rid of it, and he says he still absolutely adores it even though he sold it. But I fucking hate that game. I don't know if it's just because of all the league nights and I played it all the goddamn time,
Oh, lucky
or
you with
what,
League
but
Nights.
I couldn't. I can't stand it.
I could always get an EM.
Yeah, I said a forever game. I'm not gonna get an EM.
It'll last forever.
Yeah, Nick Baldrich would have me think that, but I'd be in there every other day adjusting
No,
switches.
you get a Gottlieb wedge head and it'll be forever.
Yuck. Yuck, yuck.
What about like one of those classic Sterns, like Meteor or Stars?
All right, so hear me out. Real talk. Uh, Bonsai Run, I actually had a
Oh,
lot of fun with.
that's a fun game, and that back box is kind of hard.
Oh, it's super hard. But if we're talking about System 11, though, which is like a cursed system for me, by the way, listeners, like if you don't know this, like System 11 and me get along like oil and was it water or oil and vinegar, oil and water, whatever. We don't fucking mix. Like every time I get a System 11, it breaks and I just constantly have issues with it. But if I had to get a System 11 right now, today, gun to my head, it'd be a Black Knight 2K,
Mm, okay,
hands down, just for the soundtrack.
not for the gameplay because you're gonna get real bored.
I mean, yeah, but it's just a stripped down version of the new Black Knight.
And look where that went.
Yeah, I got too good at it. Nobody wanted to fucking play with me.
Should have pulled off the rubbers on the outlanes.
That would have made it harder for everyone, not just me.
Who cares about them?
I do, because when I have people over to play with, I want us all having fun, not just me having fun, and the rest of them like, oh Jesus Christ, let me
Then
go
you
start
should
a
get a
different
game that's
game.
fun and not one for you.
Fuck that, because they're my
See?
games.
Oh, see? Truth comes out. He
I
gives
want to
no
enjoy
cares.
playing my games, but Chelsea also has a very, very heavy input on anything that I get. I will say that. Like, if Chelsea doesn't like the game, I'm not going to get it. So, but Parnell knows this too. Like, any game that comes into the basement, we talk about like at nauseum at times before it happens.
Sometimes.
No, pretty much every time. I mean, I guess Playboy we didn't really talk about it, but a ton. But yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, looking at the games, like,
Hot Wheels?
just looking at the games here, I just, you know,
Okay, hey, what if AP's next game was that Legends of Valhalla or whatever it was?
yeah, pass.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, could give two shits about that game.
Is
I
it
mean, it's cool,
is it the
but
theme you just don't care for, or what?
I think it's the theme. I'm not going to be jamming out to some like good soundtrack or some good music. I think the call outs are just kind of meh. Like,
What if AP released Doom?
oh, well, then, yeah, I got to sell my left
No, no, no,
testicle.
not that Doom. The one from India, the Bollywood one.
I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, truthfully.
You're such a bitch.
I know you even spent all that time looking it up.
I was up to like 6 in the morning.
hmm
Maybe not that late. It's on Amazon Prime, my friend.
See, I think I'd take a Hobbit because it has all those different modes and it uses everything in the game.
Oh, bleh. You're not
And
gonna keep that forever.
so the only thing that scares me away from the Hobbit is everyone that I've played on location, those fucking orcs, are always broken. Like at least one of them has stopped working and no longer pops up. And
So
like,
what'll happen is you'll get so sick of it 'cause it sucks that you'll print a life-size picture of it out and then hang it so when your friend comes, they think it's still there.
right, yeah.
It's that bad.
I think we're gonna have to get a Wizard of Oz. Like, unless I can get a Pirates of the Caribbean. By the way, I am trying to get this same friend to let me borrow their Pirates of the Caribbean, their LE,
What?
and it's going over about as well as
Water and vinegar.
yeah,
Water and
like
vinegar.
not
What?
at fucking
Oil
all.
and water.
Yeah, it's not going over well at all. But I still am attempting it because they aren't fucking playing it.
Either are you. You're not playing your games.
That's You're so full of shit. Friday night and Saturday night I played them, and tonight I played some after work. So yeah, what do you say to that?
Ugh. Okay, next topic. Video games.
Ugh.
Hey,
All right.
we had a listener feedback, and they said, I thought you guys were supposed to talk about arcade games, and we do, but Ryan just poo poos all of it. There was an
That's not.
episode a while ago that Ryan poo pooed and was negative the whole time, so I just cut all of it out.
I don't even remember what happened.
So have you been playing video games?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what are you playing? Just playing VR? Are you playing Halo?
I mean, I'm playing Peach Ball, obviously.
Oh my god.
No, so I've been playing Halo, obviously. I'm trying to do so. Initially, I was discussing with Zach because we're doing a co op playthrough. We had discussed doing what's called Lasso, and we were going to lasso every Halo game. And Lasso, for everyone listening, it stands for Legendary All Skulls On.
Oh, you're fucking mean.
And like, so some of these skulls include you can't use Covenant weapons. So like you can only use weapons from humans.
Does it
That's
change
that's
per mission or whatever?
no.
Oh.
Another one is you get 50% less ammunition from pickups. There's like a shitload of these different skulls that are just evil. And Zach, why don't you just go ahead and let everyone know what you said when I had suggested this?
I say nope, because that means you can't do the plasma pistol BR combo.
All right, good. Yep. See, that's exactly what he said. And um, because of that, what we're doing is I think we're just doing a legendary playthrough. And it sounds like we might end up adopting the Iron Skull, which means that if either one of us die, there's no cheesing of the respawn. Like if either of us die, we get sent back to the last checkpoint, which in Halo 2 right now is really, really fucking hard in Legendary. Like it's brutal. So
Yeah,
there's
you're
that.
mean.
Yeah. But me and Zach like challenges though, so we're doing it to it. But I played that. I've been playing that. I played some Ratchet and Clank, the remake on the PS4, like the reboot, and that's been fun. And I haven't played much Mass Effect, but it's sitting over there on the burner. Trust me, it's still simmering.
Right next to that helmet.
Absolutely, yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
did get my helmet, and I played it for a few minutes to say that I played it. Um, Not as comfortable as my Doomslayer helmet, and somehow bigger, but less space inside of it. It's really weird. I don't quite understand that logic, but yeah. So
Hmm.
about all I got right now. What about you?
I had picked up Tony Hawk Pro Skater remaster on Switch
Mm-hmm.
last week or two ago, and I've been playing that. I played it, I don't know, Saturday morning. I woke up because my dog likes to bug me way too early in the morning to go outside so he can chase rabbits and sniff things and not go to the bathroom. And then during my coffee, I was like, "Oh, screw this! I'm just gonna play some Tony Hawk." And I got to play some more Tony Hawk, and I forgot how much I suck at it, but how much I miss it, and also how much I don't remember some of these levels, even though I played Tony Hawk a ton. So I'm wondering if I played the demo a ton, and it was just the first level, and then I got Tony Hawk 2. Haven't got the 2 yet. I still want to beat 1, but that game is super fun. The only thing that drives me bananas, this irritates the living daylights out of me. When you first start the game from the menu of the Switch, it takes a minute to get to the stupid like start screen to hit go. They're all every developer publisher credit they just roll and you can't skip. And it's like I get the first time. The first time forced me to watch this. Okay. But now every time I boot the game up, it's so annoying having to wait through that crap. It's like watching those ads at the beginning of a movie.
Okay, wait, hold on, pause. What ads at the beginning of the movie? You talking like you go to a movie theater and you're bitching about the like ads before the movie starts? Or are you
I don't
talking
know.
like
All the cr-
VHS ads
all
like
the
back in
cr-
the day?
all the crap before movies. Like, hey,
Oh my
I got stuff to
god.
do. Let's roll the credits here.
I thought we were best fucking friends. What is this? I find out we're not?
I don't
I
go to movies,
love.
man. I need to get in and out.
Oh my god. I love the trailers for new movies cuz sometimes that's the only time you're going to see them. So
Isn't
you
that
get
what the
to see
internet's
like
for?
new yeah, and when are you going to see that then? Are you just going on to, Rotten Tomatoes every day and checking the new movies that are slated to come out?
No, but I randomly stumble upon stuff.
Yeah, but you see like movies like Pig with Nicolas Cage that's coming
Oh
out I
my
think
god.
this week. I'm so fucking hyped for that awful movie and I can't wait to see my my hot piece of man ass doing his best at phoning it home for his next
Doesn't he
major
have
acting.
doesn't he have long hair in this thing?
Oh yeah.
Dude, it's like Con Air.
Yep, but old
Oh.
and fatter.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage definitely has some. He's got a little Buddha belly.
I like Nicolas Cage. I still um Gone in 60 Seconds is one of my favorite movies.
Oh yeah, totally. But I mean, I love Nicolas Cage even in his more recent stuff like Mandy and uh,
I haven't seen a movie for like 20 years.
that's not true because you watched some stupid fucking Doom Bollywood stuff the other night.
I didn't
But
actually
then you're
watch
not
it.
watching Mandy.
I don't know what that is.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Dude, I have to like watch things by myself because no one likes what I like.
Well, yeah, but you could watch Mandy by yourself.
But when I have to like stay up late, like I have to do it in this like weird late time, and we're
Well, you could do
podcasting,
it.
so I can't watch it.
You could do it after our podcast. You did it the other night with the Doom from Bollywood.
Oh, I should go to sleep.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways, back to our topic.
Okay,
Tony Hawk.
all right. Then I think Zelda Skyward Sword comes out this week. I think, yeah, the 16th. They've unannounced. They've not announced, but they allow you to move the camera while you're playing. So there's all these something of life updates to the game to make it like play well in the current controller times.
Mm.
So it might have fixed some of your issues with the game.
No, it's like on a
Oh, screw
basic
you. I'm buying it. I'm
level.
going to just gush about it next podcast.
That's fine. I'm gonna literally make Zach cut it out because I'm just like,
Dude, you bought
sweet.
golf and you hate it.
Uh, dude, and I haven't talked about it any because it's one of those was it buyer's remorse? Like if
Yeah,
you look
buddy.
up buyer's remorse in the dictionary, that's the Mario Golf game I bought.
Here's the funny part.
2021.
On NVC, some guy talked about. He's like, "Yeah, it's great. It's just this chill golf game," and I was laughing because it's so funny. There's no like people that are just okay about it. It's either you hate it or you like it.
All right, but you see, the thing is there's the Nintendo fanboys, and I'm sorry if anyone listening is one of them. They will fucking consume anything and be like, yes, give me some more. Whereas like most individuals won't do that, and I'm one of those people. Like Nintendo can do bad.
I
They
think you
can
just need to
fuck
play
up.
the game the way it's supposed to be played and just enjoy it.
Yeah, I
Just
have on the
yeah.
Wii. So eat a dick, buddy. I played it the way it was designed and intended to be played.
Hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Uh, Garage Builder. That make your own video game.
Yep.
That game. I joined the subreddit for it on Reddit. People are making the craziest stuff. There's a Metal Gear Solid. There's a Star Fox, Hades, Zeldas, tons of games. It is so neat. It makes me want it, but I will not have any time to play it or like build.
Well, yeah, because you're going to be too busy doing your P3 stuff.
Sure, or just being a parent.
Well, whatever. Mix of both.
Um, but that game super excites me. So if you have free time and you enjoy building or even playing other people's builds, sort of like Mario Maker, check it out. I think there's a demo of it as well. I think.
Yeah, it's definitely cool. I personally am not interested in it, but I do think it's a really awesome concept, and bringing more kids into learning how to create and build games, I think is really awesome for sure.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then Game and Watch. I can't stop talking about these things.
I know you can't.
They're so fucking hard. I finally got the LCD games in MAME, and I got them working over the weekend
Mm-hmm.
on my laptop, on a Mac, and they're really fun. They're so hard, and the ones that aren't really hard take forever to get hard. So like, there's one called Egg, right, where you just catch eggs from 4 different places, and they just start coming faster. That game took forever to get hard, but then there's Octopus in that game. It gets hard real quick. That's the kind of fun of it, right? Where it's like, I don't know if you had any handheld LCD games growing up.
Yeah, I had a Game and Watch for the original Game Boy.
Oh, you had the Game and Watch Gallery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Uh, I had a couple Tiger handhelds, and
Oh, I had one of those too. I had the Sonic Spinball,
oh, okay, cool.
Tiger Electronics.
Dang, I didn't have that one. But like, they're so hard, but you just keep playing it over and over again. I don't
Well,
know.
because back then that's all
So
we had.
yeah, that's true, but it's so neat. I don't know. I am mystified by it. It's intriguing. It's very intriguing. Um,
Look, man. I mean, don't get too intrigued by it, because I can tell you right now, my grandmother would literally chain smoke cigarettes and burn holes in the carpet, because as she was playing, her cherries and her cigarettes would just like fall off of her hand and fall onto the carpet and burn holes in the carpet while she was playing Pong. It's like anything can capture your imagination and your like attention. And I mean, the thing you have to remember is back in the 90s when like the Tiger Electronics were like big, and like the original Game Boys with like the Game and Watch gallery and stuff like that were big. Like that's all we had. I think if we had had internet and like everything that's available now, we would have been playing any of that fucking shit. We would have been playing something like what kids play now.
yeah, but that's the fun. It's going back. And so
Calm
there's a
down, Michael
way
J. Fox.
there's a way to um, modify a new Game and Watch to play all the old Game and Watches. So I think I might buy another Game and Watch to mod to do all the old Game and Watches.
Alternatively, you could buy that thing off AliExpress that looked like it could do all that stuff for like the same price, but also like other things.
Yes, so I also went down that tunnel. There's I don't remember the name of it. It's like Anubis or something. It's like a RG351P or something, RR. It's a handheld, looks like a super thick switch, but it runs Linux, and it's a Mali CPU with like a gig RAM, and it runs anything from like the super basic to Dreamcast. Not every Dreamcast and 64 game, because there's a lot that have stuttering problems, but a lot. And it's $85.
Yeah, so just return your Game and Watches and get that.
No, that's not the point.
You're right. We gotta give Papa Nintendo their cut.
Yeah, I already pre-ordered the Zelda one, so like that baby's going on my nightstand. It's gonna be a new clock. It's gonna be great. My kids and I love playing it. The Mario is so freaking hard though.
Just need to get good, scrub.
Yeah, and then the next thing for video game stuff, Cruisin' Blast, which is by Raw Thrills and Nintendo, and was an arcade only game, is coming to Switch. I have pre-ordered it. I think we probably already talked about this because I was so excited.
We did.
But do you think if this sells well that they will port more arcade games to console after
I think
X time?
I think that they'll port every game but any of the Hydro Thunders.
I told them on their Twitter they got to get up on this H2 Overdrive 2. It's ridiculous that they made 3 Superbike games, multiple off-road racing games, but only one boat game, and that boat game is one of the only racing games to stay in the local arcade to me. where they've swapped out all the other racing games. They have not changed the boat racing game. I'm assuming because it's making so much money.
Or they just don't have anything else they want to put in.
No, because like Roth Thrills has tons of racing games now.
Mm.
Which Steve, the old co-host dude, sent me pictures from the Pizza Ranch that just opened. They have a mini arcade.
Yeah.
And they have like it's like a Roth Thrills dumping ground up there. They got the new Nerf gun. The Nerf gun game. Jurassic Park, which is old. The new Nitro trucks, which I need to play bad. It's like Excite Truck almost, sort of mixed with. He said it's literally Cruise and Blast, but off road cars.
I'd believe that.
I totally believe that. Once he said that, I was like, oh, they just took the Cruise and Blast engine and just put off road stuff on.
Yep.
So then it made me think, like, hey, what if we got some ports of their arcade games? Because that'd be amazing if they said, hey, like we'll do 1 year exclusive arcade, then we'll release a port. I would love to see it happen. However, I don't know if it will. I think this is one of those Cruising's owned by Nintendo, so I think it was kind of a nudge wink. Please bring it to the Switch. So I think it'll be a one-off, unfortunately.
I think you're correct. I don't see many arcade games coming to console anymore.
I mean, Dreamcast.
I think that's something from yesteryear.
Yeah.
Because arcade games are just designed to be such like dickheads in comparison to.
But it's like pinball. That stuff's coming back though. Like,
well, sure, it's coming back in an arcade. Well, okay, hold on. Roguelikes are nothing like an arcade game.
Yeah, but they're like, so Roth Thrills just released a Minecraft Dungeons for the arcade.
Okay.
And then I wanted to talk to you about the new VR King Kong game. You legit watch the video. I put the link in the show notes. You wear a headset, you sit in this moving thing, and it even senses if you move your arms in front of you and interacts.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting. I think it's going to make a lot of people sick.
No, it's not the crappy VR.
No, but so a lot of people are goofballs and they can't handle.
Oh, you just mean VR in general?
Well, they can't handle seat movers in VR. Like it'll end up making them more sick, which I think is crazy.
Crazy funny.
It's got the HP Reverb G2 headsets, the ones that suck at anything but seated experiences. Well, this is good. Yeah, I'm liking it. I think it could be cool. I'll play it if I see one. I mean, not anytime soon because of COVID and whatever, but that is a really cool idea.
It's up at Pizza Ranch. Come on up.
Yeah. No, thanks. I was at a Pizza Ranch not too long ago, and it literally felt like a cesspool for COVID breeding. It was awful. There's just kids running around and screaming everywhere. I was just like, oh my God, I don't miss any of this.
Yep. We could go during the weekday. Maybe be not busy. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to like shit on it. I think it could be really fun. I think that as someone that owns a VR headset though, like I'm going to kind of be like underwhelmed. But the thing that this does is it brings more attention to VR. So in that sense, I'm happy. Like anything that's positive press for VR is good. And right now VR is hitting it out of the park more than it ever has. I mean, what game is it? Game Room, which is like a VR game that they made forever ago. Anyways, Game Room was like one of the first VR experiences that you could really like play. And I think this year, not too long ago, like a couple months ago, they just got valued at a $1.6 billion company. So
that's all you care about is VR. See, look at now, you've gone this VR tangent, and then you won't stop talking about it.
No, you want to talk about this Roth Thrills King Kong thing? I'm just telling you too. Like, it's cool. I'm happy.
I will be curious how VR does in an arcade. because the experience is way different than a normal arcade game. Normal arcade games, you just walk up, there's a control of some sort, you see stuff that you're presented, and you're done. This, you have to kind of prep for it. You have to sit down, you have to put the headset on, you probably have to wipe it off. There's more stuff that touches you that's like, forehead sweat and stuff. I don't know if it'll be super popular.
I don't know if it will be either because I mean I know enough about VR. Like the biggest things you don't want happening is your headsets to get dirty, because then people are going to be trying to wipe them off, or kids are going to be getting like pizza grease and all sorts of shit all over the lenses. And these headsets, you have an interpupillary distance, which is literally the distance from one pupil to the other, and you have to adjust these headsets lenses to your IPD is what they call it for short. So all the images are clear. And if you don't, it can actually make you sick like really fast because everything's out of focus and your eyes start straining to try to make it clearer and it doesn't happen. So like I don't know how well these are going to work unless they have like a fucking dedicated person or they have a really really good job of wiping them down regularly, uh, using like microfiber cloths and no real cleaning solution for the focal lenses. And then there needs to be a hell of a good setup to try to adjust the headset. Because if you've only played with VR, I think once over at my house, but like it's a process. You have to like put the headset on, you have to adjust it like up, down, and tilted like up, down, because those are separate movements. And then you have to adjust the lenses themselves. And then you can start enjoying it. And if you skip any of that, it goes back to the picture isn't going to be clear and it's probably going to make people sick on top of the seat movers that you're
Yeah, I
sitting
guess I'd be scared of a poor experience more often.
in. Right.
Like to your point, like if it's not adjusted correctly, it's going to be a poor experience. And
Yep.
while they can present the user via video on the screen how to set it up, that the users aren't going to follow it. They're just going to what they think, put the headset on and go.
Right. And I think that they really should have waited because the next set of headsets that are like just now coming out onto the market uh, automatically can adjust for your interpupillary distance, so you don't have to do anything. And they really should have waited and gotten those instead. I understand why they didn't because they're trying to be cheap about it. And I hate to say it, but like the HP Reverb G2 headsets that they're using, they're not bad headsets. They're really nice, but they're like clearance at this point because they really didn't do anything great. Mine is just have really good resolution for like seated experiences. And I can only imagine how much one of those Raw Thrills King Kong VR games, like the actual cost to buy one. I mean, it's probably $10,000.
It's probably more than that.
Yeah, exactly. And at that point, they should have been using enterprise level equipment, not consumer grade stuff.
I will be. I want to go check it out and just see what it's like, but I'll be
Yeah, go
curious to
check it out
see
and let me know.
how it does. I think this is new, so I'll be curious to see how it does in the long run.
Yeah.
Nitro Trucks, I think they released their map pack last year, so that's been out for a year or two. That's my jam, arcade racing. All right, the next thing I want to talk about was now that my projects are lightening up, I have my little Arduino here with my little slider. I got to start testing that out on my Windows computer for a Hydro Thunder. And you gave me an idea about if this doesn't work, I could use a thruster from a flight stick set. You
Yeah.
had a name for it, and I forgot.
HOTAS. HOTAS.
Yeah. And I looked it
Yeah.
up, and obviously it doesn't look like a thruster from Hydro Thunder, but the
And for those listening, HOTAS stands for hands on throttle and stick.
yeah.
But you'd use the throttle as your throttle for Wave Racer. I mean, Hydro Thunder.
And so that driver, like everything's already built, ready to go. So you plug it in, and your Windows recognizes it as a game controller of sorts, and you just remap it. So that is also a very quick and easy way. And You had said there was like a Skytech 45 that was older but still worked great. So
Yeah, SciTech. Yep.
so we found some on eBay for about $50. So that's my backup plan if this little Arduino one doesn't work.
Yeah, and that SciTech HOTAS setup, that's a good setup. I used it in VR like flight games. Did a good job. Didn't have quite as many buttons as the newer ones, but I just built a button box using a
Oh,
USB encoder, and
sure.
then just I think it was like 16 buttons it was limited to, and I just made some like toggles, some momentary, and just kind of figured it out.
If this actually works, I will be taking one of my, I don't even remember what cabinets I have, maybe the Centipede or whatever, or Asteroids, but I'll be turning that into a Hydro Thunder cabinet, and it'll run the PC port of Hydro Thunder, the PC of Hydro Thunder Hurricane, and then the PC arcade version of H2 Overdrive, which is that arcade game.
So wait, does that mean you're gonna get like a force feedback steering wheel too then?
Uh, it depends if I
Do
get the
those
short stick.
games work with like a Logitech G25, G28, G30?
I know the H2 Overdrive uses Techno Parrot, and I'm pretty sure the force feedback stuff can work with that because that does work in the actual arcade game. The PC ports of Hydro Thunder and Hydro Thunder Hurricane, I don't know if they have rumble and force feedback unless you
Hmm.
can add it. I don't know if that's
Yeah,
an add-on thing. The original
yeah, it
probably
might be
not
an option.
because no one has hacked the arcade of Hydro Thunder. This is just a PC port, and that's probably why they didn't get hacked yet. Because like, why would they hack it for MAME when it's already a PC port, which is lame. But
Well, if it's a PC port, it presumably has force feedback and
yeah, I don't.
everything
It's missing
already enabled.
multiplayer. It's missing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but multiplayer is a lot different than force feedback. You should
Yeah,
do some
but
research because if you can get like a Logitech G30 and hook that up, have the force feedback steering wheel from that, and then have your flight stick for your throttle, like that would be pretty amazing. You'd
I'd
be
be.
moving that arcade one up all over the ground. That'd probably be the best part.
I would probably need. Yeah, I'd probably have to weight it down because it'll be a
Oh,
little
for sure.
intense.
Yeah. I mean, the Logitech G30 doesn't output that much torque, but it's enough to where it'd be scooting around a little bit.
I'll need a. The part of this was to try to keep it cheap, but we'll see.
Yeah, but if you're gonna do it, don't I hate to say it, but I mean, don't be a bitch about it.
Well, I
Like,
guess it was like do it cheap to make sure it works, and then make a cool one, and then I.
well, if you're gonna do it cheap, then just uh, after the show, we'll just look up if it has force feedback. Because if it
Oh,
does, then you should just get a steering wheel with force feedback.
so when I sold a couple of my one ups, a guy I sold them to works at a printing company, and so he even has made his own prints for his uh, games and stands. So he is my connection for making artwork for this if it turns out. So it could be pretty cool.
Which Hydro Thunder is the newest one?
Well, the Hydro Thunder Hurricane is the newest.
Okay, and you were saying that one you weren't sure if it has force feedback.
I don't think any of them do.
Uh,
Um, H2 Overdrive does have force feedback.
hmm.
The only crazy thing is like if you can do these bulk games, do you do any more games or you just do this? Because this is kind of like where do you draw the line?
Well, I don't know. See, that's why I don't start a lot of projects because if I'm gonna do them most of the time, I I really do it. I go overboard, just like the movie. Hydro Thunder Hurricane does have force feedback.
On Xbox or PC?
I don't know. I'm just telling you what I'm reading.
Okay, I just saw that too, but I can't get like
H2 Overdrive
it
uh,
does.
does too. Yeah. So there's a good chance. Even if it's enabled on Xbox, there's a very good chance it's enabled for PC then. So yeah. Well, what's the last topic of the evening?
Black Widow.
I hate those spiders.
They're not nice.
No, they're not as bad as brown recluses though. I've legit had a brown recluse chase after me,
Dude, what is it?
like
Why'd you piss
out
it
of a
off?
crawl space. I didn't. They're territorial.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, no. Like if you're in their space, they don't give a shit if you're bigger than them. Like they're just gonna fucking come after you. And they have that necrotic venom or whatever the fuck it is, where they when they bite you, it ends up like killing all the cells around where they bit you. So it kind of looks like you got bitten by a zombie. It's great.
Jesus.
It's great. So yeah, fuck, fuck brown recluses. But Black Widow, the movie.
The movie dropped, and it did 240 million. I don't know if that's good or not.
I don't think so because I think Godzilla versus King Kong did like 700 or 900.
Oh wow. Um, I'm not too interested in the movie. Like I'm not gonna go pay for it and try to set aside time out of my normal day for it. I'm interested in it to watch at some point, but I heard a review today.
Hold on, give me a second before you say that. I'm just gonna send this to you. I might want to open that up. Be careful.
The Critical Drinker, his review.
Yes, he gave it a bad review.
He said it's very disjointed and doesn't make sense. If you look at it from a very technical perspective, like story,
Sure.
and if you legit watch it just for entertainment, it's probably fine. If you
Oh,
like
yeah,
don't question anything.
because I was gonna say Rotten Tomatoes. It's got an 81% tomato meter and a 92% audience score. There's a lot of Marvel fanboys though, because like, what's Captain Marvel at?
What's Loki at? I did not like that TV show. I thought it was so boring. The first episode or two was just so boring. I just haven't even finished it.
Oh, okay. So I don't know if we can trust Rotten Tomatoes for everything because it's saying Captain Marvel was a 79 tomato meter, but then the audience score reins it into where it should be, which is a 45.
That was like a political push though. That was funny.
Uh, yeah, I guess.
I don't remember if I watched it. I don't think I did. If
I
I did,
did.
I
I
fell
did not
asleep.
like it.
Sounds like you need to watch Wonder Woman 84.
No.
Really? I want to watch it, but I heard it was. It's like the writing is just getting worse. And from what I could tell, the writing of Black Widow was lazy. Like they legit copied Winter Soldier, but instead of Bucky, it's this masked person, and so you have no connection between Black Widow and this masked person the entire
Mm.
movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then things are just things just happen just to happen. They don't. There's no like good reasoning or story, or there's no explanation for why on a ton of things. So it's like they're just writing stuff to just get stuff out.
Well, yeah. I mean, you look at, these Marvel actors. I don't think they quite realize what they were signing up for. Like, I'm sure the guys from like American Pie were like, "Wait, no, don't stop," because at this point, all these actors are kind of who they were for the past 12 years, 15 years for some of them. Like, when did the first Iron Man come out?
God, like 2005. It's super old.
2008. Yeah, I mean, we're going on like nearly 13 years that Robert Downey Jr. has been Iron Man.
But he's so good at it.
I'm no no no. I'm not knocking him. I'm just simply stating
Mm.
that a lot of these Marvel characters, some of them are going to be cursed, like Stifler from American
Oh,
Pie.
you just get like you have to be that person to act it, otherwise it just
Right.
doesn't
You
work.
end up becoming like a character actor rather than like an actual actor, if that
Oh
makes
yeah,
sense.
it's like what's that stupid movie with Jason Hader, or whatever his name is, with Pedro and the guy, his uncle can throw a football over the mountain. Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, he plays any other role, and it's like, no, you're Napoleon.
Right. I mean, that's what I'm just trying to say. I'm not trying to poo-poo on any one of those actors because, like, was it Paul Rudd? I love Paul Rudd.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's done enough Ant-Man movies yet to where when I look at him, I'm like, you're Ant-Man. But like, was it Scarlett? What the hell's her last name? Scarlett Johansson,
Mm-hmm.
Black Widow. I mean, she's been Black Widow
The whole time.
since Iron Man 2,
Yeah.
and that dropped in 2010. So we're going on 11 years. So, it's just something to think about, I guess. But yeah, I'm excited for Pig.
You have to let me know how it is.
Oh, I will let you know.
Is it out this week? Is it like this Friday?
Yes, it comes out. Ugh, Rotten Tomatoes has it at a 94. Yeah, it's the 16th is when it comes out. So I guess like the long and the short of it is a truffle hunter who lives alone in the Oregon wilderness must return to his past in the Portland uh, in search of his beloved foraging pig after she's kidnapped. Yeah, yeah. And so it ends up being like a John Wick kind of movie.
Mm-hmm.
But with instead of a dog, it's a truffle pig. And instead of Keanu Reeves, it's
Nicolas Cage.
fucking Nicolas Cage. Here, let me copy this image and send it to you so you can see what I'm talking about. That's who's gonna John Wick their asses, Parnell. That man right there. Listeners, I sent a picture of Nicolas Cage from the movie. You can Google it if you want to.
Weird. He does look weird when he's old.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's who's gonna go kick some ass over his truffle pig. But I'm super excited. And seeing that it got a 91 on Rotten Tomatoes makes me even more excited.
Yeah, I'd be curious if that's just fans, because there's like all these memes for Nicolas Cage, but it could actually be a good movie, and
Right.
we are blown away by it.
I'm still really pissed that Top Gun has not come out.
Oh my god, when is that movie coming?
I think in December now.
Well, they want that theater release, don't they?
Yeah. And then I'm also really, really, really pissed that the new James Bond hasn't come out yet either.
What
Because
is
that
up
was
with
supposed
that?
to come out in April 4th, April 8th of 2020. Or no, April 6th. Because that's what I was going to go see. And I'm super pissed it did not come out.
So, when's that supposed to drop, or do they unannounce it like they don't know?
I don't know, because the fucking movie's done.
It's been done. Like all these movies have been done for a while.
Yeah. Like Top Gun's been done for fucking ever
A
too.
year?
Oh, more than that.
And Bond
Oh,
isn't
Bond
this
was releasing like 2 weeks before quarantine.
isn't this his last one?
Yes, it's Daniel Craig's last Bond role.
I love him as Daniel Craig.
I know.
All right. I love Daniel Craig as Daniel Craig. I love him as Bond. I think he's just does such a good job. And if you've ever
Yeah,
read the books, he plays more like that.
but you want to know something? He's definitely raised the bar. I don't think we're going to get another schlocky Bond. We aren't going to get another Pierce Brosnan or.
Pierce was a good person for the West at the time.
I'm not arguing that, but
But
he's schlocky in comparison and
uh
sloppy.
well, dude, like the old Bonds, they're more it's almost like a comedy with being a Bond. But now the new ones, I
Yeah.
mean, they're serious movies.
Yep.
Seriously good movies.
Oh, I know. Mm-hmm. So, one day,
Yeah, maybe one day.
one day we'll get to see that.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Probably not.
All right. Well, listeners, I think on that note, we're going to wrap this up here. So, in true fashion, I'd like to wish you a good morning, a good day, a good afternoon, a good evening, and good night.
Bye.
Goodbye. Fuck me. That was awful.